Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you have any idea what we're doing today?
Well, we're getting near the end of the Davidic Psalms, so we're in the midst of the last 5 of those, and we're damn near the end of Psalms, so we're just, we're trying to get this done.
Finish her up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. So what Psalms are we going over today?
We are doing Psalms 141, 142, and 143.
All right. And real quick before we get into this, I want to remind everybody again, just so it's not a surprise, next week we're finishing up Psalms this week, and next week we'll be taking a week-long break. There will still be some episodes coming out, so there'll be some special episodes and finalized things, but we will not be doing normal, regular reading the Bible episodes next week.
Correct.
So that's all. But that being said, let's go ahead and get on into this.
Okie dokie. All right, so let's jump into Psalm 141.
Let's do it.
Guess what it is?
It's of David.
It is a Psalm of David.
Yeah.
This psalm is a psalm of David.
These are the last Davidic Psalms, so of course it's of David.
Of course it is. Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
Oh, Lord, I call to you. Come quickly to me. Hear my voice when I call to you. Do you hear me?
No. I hear you.
Right.
I don't hear God.
No.
I never hear God.
Never.
I have never heard, nor do I think I ever will, hear God.
No. I'll be questioning you if that should ever happen.
You should probably start looking for a home for me at that point.
I'll definitely be calling around.
Right, yeah.
May my prayer be set before you like incense. You don't like incense or candles or perfume or anything
I do not.
That has smell stuff
it's
to it. It's
bad for you. You know that it causes it's cancerous. It's not good for you. You love this shit. And I'm like, stop fucking killing me.
I like things that smell good.
It's not good for us.
And they don't smell good to you.
Moreover, I feel like you're poisoning, literally poisoning me.
I know. Every time I spray perfume or something, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I hate it.
I know. And I hate that you hate it. So anyway, may my prayer be set before you like that cancerous incense.
On a side note of smells, though, we did learn one time that apparently farting is good for offsetting Alzheimer's.
And yes, the methane in it.
So, I don't like incense, but if you fart around me, I might call you my friend.
Oh my God.
Technically, if you can fart around someone, I think they probably are your friend. Either that or they're just really rude.
I was going to say, there have been people that have farted around me that I don't consider my friend. Not because they farted, but just because they suck.
And I'm just saying. But it is good for you, though. If somebody farts, you should say thank you.
Did I ever tell you about the time
they're saving you?
I went on a date with a guy.
Yeah.
And obviously 100 years ago. And this guy, we had steak, and then after we were done eating, I guess it was a bad date from his perspective because he literally leaned over and made no show. Didn't even pretend to hide it or anything.
Yeah.
Just leaned over and prompt.
Wow.
And my reaction, I couldn't even try. I just go, oh my. My eyes were open so wide and my face was I was astonished.
Yeah. I can see that. That's not something you expect to happen on a first date.
He didn't act embarrassed. He didn't say excuse me or anything. He just kept talking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
I didn't quite know what to make of that other than I guess this date sucked.
I either that or he was just testing the water to see how much he can get away with on a first date,
Well, we did not kiss.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, I'm not saying people can't fart, but like that first date, right? You're supposed to at least make some efforts not to like blatantly be. I don't know. I
Like,
Like
didn't know
it's a if he had owned it, right?
Like, what if he would have said, "I am so sorry. This probably is a date killer or whatever."
I think that would have been different, right? Yeah.
Like if he had been like, "I have not been feeling great. This steak is not sitting well. I'm really sorry about this."
Or even turn it into some type of a joke or something, like anything to like offset the just uncomfortable factor.
Yeah, but he gave 0 fucks.
Right.
I was like, he does not like me. That is what I thought immediately. I was like, okay.
Either that or he just really liked to fart.
I guess. It was the lean for me.
Yeah, right.
It was the lean.
The intentionality, the intentional nature of the action.
He was not like, whoops, that one got by me. Or like lift up and been like, ooh, nothing. He like leaned over. I mean, this was over 20 years ago and that memory stuck in my head. Okay, so anyway, incense. Yeah. May the lifting up of my hands.
Not your ass cheek.
Right, be like the evening sacrifice.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That was very appropriate.
That was very appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We're psalming.
Yeah.
Okay. Set a guard over my mouth, O Lord, and over my nose. Keep watch over the door of my lips and my ass. Let not my heart be drawn to what is evil, to take part in wicked deeds with men who are evildoers. Let me not eat of their delicacies.
Oh my God. You've got the fucking giggles now.
I have ruined this song. Apologies. This song could be really nice and I would just have no idea because I ruined it.
Right.
I'm so sorry. All right, get it together, bitch. Let a righteous man strike me. It is a kindness. Let him rebuke me. It is oil on my head. My head will not refuse it. I don't know what the fuck any of that meant, but please do not strike me.
Right.
I will not take it kindly. Yet my prayer is ever against the deeds of evildoers. I think that smacking me is evil, personally.
Sure.
Their prayers... No, wait, let me start that over again. Their rulers will be thrown down from the cliffs.
Wow. That's rough.
And the wicked will learn that my words were well spoken. So, if I think that you're evil, that means that you are evil, period, the end, it's a fact, and God's going to throw you off a cliff. That's the way it goes.
Right.
That's rather arrogant.
Yeah.
Holy moly. They will say, as one plows and breaks up the earth, so our bones have been scattered at the mouth of the grave. This got ominous.
Right?
Damn.
No, this is pretty dark imagery here.
It really is. But my eyes are fixed on you, O sovereign Lord. In you I take refuge. Do not give me over to death. Keep me from the snares they have laid for me, from the traps set by evildoers. Remember all those traps and snares and nets and things?
You notice that there's a running theme about how scared these people are in Psalms of death.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's the whole religion thing in general, is that religion is basically fear of death.
Right.
But specifically in Psalms, they mention not being taken by death.
Yeah.
A lot.
And
I'm like, Jesus. You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just, what is this shit?
Somewhere between lay down and die versus like running from fear and talking about dying all the time. Like there's some in between.
Right.
Where you just try to live your best life and be a good person.
Yeah.
And, hope that you don't die, but know that someday is coming for you.
I just don't feel like at the end of my life that hoping for something more on the other side is going to help me. Like, it still sucks. I'm still dying.
Yeah.
It's still painful or whatever, like the process is no better.
No.
And if there either is or there isn't something on the other side of death, right?
And that doesn't change. It shouldn't change how you act today.
Right. And I'm going with there's probably not, but ultimately it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's still the same process no matter whether you believe or not, as far as the dying bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let the wicked fall into their own nets while I pass by in safety.
Okay. All right.
Not impressed.
I mean, it's a psalm.
I know. It's just I expected so much more from them.
Did you really?
I was promised poetry.
I mean,
I was promised lots of...
I liked that one about nature. That was all right.
I liked the astrologers one.
So, I mean, and there's,
There have been pretty verses within Psalms.
If I could get past the fact that they say refuge like a million times and
nets and snares and shit,
and
like, dashing people's...
If you could combine all the Psalms into like one beautiful poem that encompasses all the same shit that they talk about in all the Psalms, that might have some beautiful poetry in it if you really worked out a really nice, good version of it.
Okay, so
right?
I've been challenged to write the Psalm of Psalms.
The Psalm of Psalms, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Are you?
I am.
You're going to okay.
I am. I'm going to get started on it tomorrow.
Got it.
The Psalm of Psalms.
The Psalm of
Psalms.
This
is not the greatest psalm. This is a tribute.
For those who don't know, that is a reference to a band called
Tenacious D.
Yeah, thank you, Tenacious D.
Yeah, Jack Black.
That was a great joke.
It really was.
I mean, I don't normally just say that, but like that was fucking fantastic.
It was, and that's what it's going to be called too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. No, I love it.
I'm starting on it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So Psalm 141 is a prayer for preservation from evil, and it starts, Lord, I cry unto thee. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Here's my full notes. Okay.
Must not be much.
It's not. Verses 6 through 7 are likely corrupt, and scholars call their translation a best guess. So let's read what was verses.
Wait, say that one more time. It was corrupt.
Meaning this is probably not the correct translation. This is just our best guess at what they were saying.
Okay, all right.
Okay. 6 and 7. Their rulers will be thrown down from the cliffs, and the wicked will learn that my words were well spoken. They will say, as one plows and breaks up the earth, so our bones have been scattered at the mouth of the grave.
So their best guess is that God was going to kill people. That's their best guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my full notes.
Got it.
On that one.
Okay. That's a psalm.
That's a psalm.
Yep.
There you go.
And now the next one.
Yep. Okay, so 142. This is a maskil of David.
Okay.
And a maskil is a prayer.
Got it.
Or contemplation.
Right.
Not a prayer, a contemplation.
Sure.
A meditation, maybe.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of David. From when he was in the cave.
Okay. Which time? There was a couple of times, wasn't there? Was this the time that he snuck up and like while the guy was peeing, while Saul was peeing? Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It just says when he was in the cave.
I'm like, he wrote a lot of psalms while he was in that fucking cave.
And he was in lots of caves.
I mean, he was in at least a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a prayer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I cry aloud to the Lord.
That's not good for hiding. You should probably not do that aloud.
So like you're all hiding and stuff and you just shout, "Oh Lord."
Yeah, that might give your location away.
Yeah, don't do it, guys.
Yeah.
I lift up my voice to the Lord for mercy. I pour out my complaint before him. Before him I tell my trouble. When my spirit grows faint within me, it is you who know my way. In the path where I walk, men have hidden a snare for me. Lots of snares and traps and stuff.
Yeah.
Look to my right and see. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. Womp womp.
That's probably not true. He's got lots of followers.
He does.
That he leads.
Yes. He does become king, in fact, enthusiastically.
Yeah, and in fact, it's really shitty having to listen to how much people don't care for David when we all fucking know who David is still now, thousands of years later.
Yeah.
Like fuck you, David.
Yeah.
You
honestly.
you have lots of people that love you, including the chronicler who was in fucking love with you.
Mm-hmm.
So just piss off.
Seriously, though.
Yeah.
I cry to you, O Lord. I say, you are my refuge, 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 my portion in the land of the living. Listen to me cry. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen to my cry.
His cry.
My cry.
Yeah.
For I am in desperate need.
Mm.
Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they are too strong for me.
Oh, man.
I mean, you got away, so.
Yeah.
And then you got to be an old man lying in bed naked with
a teenager,
12-year-old
right,
virgin girls.
preteen, whatever she
so
was.
I don't think that they were too strong for you.
No, you seem to have made, but they're going to say that was God, not his, military prowess.
Well,
and that's I can't understand letting another thing have credit
for my greatness.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, fuck you. I was great.
I was great.
I was fucking amazing.
I can tell you when I was mediocre. I can tell you when I sucked. So I can sure as fuck tell you a time when I was great.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Set me free from my prison that I may praise your name. Then the righteous will gather about me because of your goodness to me.
Okay.
God. Oh. Okay. So.
Did you hear that Pee Wee Herman died today?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you making
No,
a
I'm
joke?
absolutely serious.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Aw. That's kind of weird and sad.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, I don't want to. I mean, he was definitely an icon.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah. I guess he was dealing with cancer for like the last 6 years.
Oh, I don't wish that on anybody. I mean, that's a lie. I wish that on a couple people. But mostly not, because I try to be a good person.
Right.
I mean, okay, I'm sorry. I'm being evil today. This is bad wife.
Yeah.
Okay? Sometimes there are some people that I'm just like, could you just, like Trump. Like, could he just? He's so old. Could he just? Okay, I'll stop. Okay. Oh my God. Psalm 142 notes.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not always a good person. I want to be better. Okay? I'm sorry for the times when I suck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Psalm 142 is a prayer for help in trouble, which apparently wife needs.
Right.
It starts, I cried unto the Lord with my voice. This psalm is labeled as a meditation or contemplation. That's what that maskil
right?
means.
Yeah.
Okay. It's used as a prayer in times of distress. This is not what I say when I'm distressed.
No.
I say, fuck.
Yeah.
Or fuck me. That's what I usually say.
God damn it.
No, I always say, fuck me. Or sometimes, I don't know where I picked this up, but in the last several years, I've caught myself going, piss. Like just.
I always wanted to say good night because my grandpa said it.
I'm
like, good night. Like as a cuss, as a curse.
Yeah.
I really loved that. I want to make that work for me at some point when I'm older.
You need to wear a fedora.
Right? Yeah. And I need, but when I'm older,
have a walking stick.
I imagine that I'm going to say good night as opposed to like, God damn it or whatever. Yeah. Good night. I want to use it. Good night.
Oh, you know what you say?
What?
Shitballs.
I do say that.
I've never heard anybody else say that till I got with you, and it makes me laugh. And sometimes I say it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah. Okay. This psalm is known to have been recited by St. Francis of Assisi on his deathbed.
Okay.
And I was like, I've heard of that St. Francis guy, but who is he again now? And so I thought I would just do a little note on him, since I didn't have a lot of notes on these. Okay, so St. Francis was an Italian mystic and Catholic friar who founded the Franciscans, the Franciscan monks. He was inspired to lead a life of poverty as a preacher. He's that guy. He's one of the most venerated figures in Christianity and was canonized as a pope as a saint by Pope Gregory IX on 16 July 1228. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
He was designated the patron saint of Italy and is usually depicted in a robe with a rope as a belt. So you've seen
Yeah,
that
like
guy
that's the depiction that you always see
of the
any
Franciscan monk.
Right.
But
yeah.
that image comes from Saint Francis.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is associated with birds, animals, the environment, poor people, stowaways, and oddly enough, merchants. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I left room for more notes, but that was it.
That was it.
So I'm glad I took some note on St. Francis, because otherwise you got nothing.
Yeah.
All right. Psalm 143. This is a psalm of
David.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. Wah, wah. In your faithfulness and righteousness, come to my relief.
Okay.
Do not bring your servant into judgment, for no one living is righteous before you, except for Job, and except for a few other people that he named that were righteous.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The enemy pursues me. He crushes me to the ground.
Damn.
He makes me dwell in darkness like those long dead.
I hate it when my enemy makes me dwell in darkness.
Like if you're buried alive or something.
I don't know how that works.
Have you ever been buried alive?
No, can't say I have.
Have you ever
There was that magician that like buried himself for like, I don't know, like 48 hours or something like that.
What?
I forget what it was.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, some street. It was, I can't remember his name, but it was some street magician. I think it was like David Blaine or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about buried alive magicians.
Got it.
But have you ever gone to the beach and like been buried in the sand?
Sure.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Except it's also not fun because it's like you're buried in the sand.
Right.
And if you do it good enough, then you can't lift your hands. And so like only your head is sticking out.
Right.
And there's a story actually about this couple or this wife that buried her husband. They were playing on the beach and she buried him in the sand with only his head sticking out. And then she left him there.
Oh, shit.
And high tide took him.
Oh, shit.
And he drowned.
Oh, damn.
And it was an accident, she said.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
She was like, I went to go get water and such. I did not know.
That's... Wow.
What a horrible way to die, right?
Yeah.
Like you see it coming and there's nothing you can do. Probably for hours.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because after the first 20 minutes, that wifey don't come back.
Right.
You start to wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the water starts getting a little closer and closer, you know.
And you're like hollering, help!
Right.
And nobody's coming.
Oh, oof. Man.
And then that's when you start like kind of trying to unbury yourself like
vigorously.
Just a little bit, because you're like, no, surely somebody's coming. She's coming back. She just got held up. Yeah. No, it's about the half-hour mark that you start like, I don't care if bitch is coming back or not. Right. And then at the 45-minute mark, that's when you're like, oh shit, she's not coming back.
Right.
That's when you start vigorously.
I'm gonna start like eating some sand and spitting it away. You know, like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that. I'm
like, surely you could somehow turn your wrists to point up so that your fingers can like scrabble. I just don't know. Ooh.
I don't know that I've ever been buried in sand enough to where I couldn't like escape it, you know? Yeah. So I don't know what that would mean.
I'm just not going to. How about that?
Right, yeah, no, I'm good.
Also, sand is gross. It gets in all your parts. It's just like I have too many crevices for that. It's not good. Let's just not, you know? All right. Buried in the dark, blah, blah, blah. So my spirit grows faint within me. My heart within me is dismayed. I remember the days of long ago, you know, as the high tide's coming up on you.
Yeah.
I meditate on all your works and consider what your hands have done. Can they get me out of this sand? I spread out my hands to you. My soul thirsts for you like a parched land. Selah.
Salah.
Answer me quickly, O Lord.
No.
My spirit fails. Do not hide your face from me, or I will be like those who go down to the pit.
Don't I've talked about this before, but like the chastising of God, I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you just trying to get smote?
Like, do you not know what happened to what's his face?
I just couldn't imagine, like, knowing the things that I've read.
Yeah.
Thinking, what makes you think that you have the right to demand anything from God.
Yeah, like, you dare to talk to God this way?
Right? And if he really is listening to everybody, dude's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
He's not going to like that.
I mean, if you believe all of this and you have all of these stories in the back of your head passed down, right? Mm-hmm. You almost deserve to get smote right then.
I mean, Moses got punished for shit that he just only kind of half did wrong.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
I mean, think of, what was it, Uzzah, that like he tripped and tried to catch the ark.
The ark was tipping over and he tried to stop it from tipping over.
And he got smote so fucking hard.
Right? Yeah.
And how about those people that whined and they were like, but I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And so God was like, smote you.
Right.
Yeah. Eat this, bitch.
Right.
Yeah. And you are just laying there going, God, you better fucking listen.
Right?
I wouldn't dare.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I believed.
If I believed all this, I wouldn't dare.
Right.
Yeah. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go, for to you I lift up my soul. Rescue me from my enemies, O Lord, for I hide myself in you. Peekaboo. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on to level ground. For your name's sake, O Lord, preserve my life. In your righteousness, bring me out of trouble. In your unfailing love, silence my enemies. Destroy all my foes, for I am your servant.
Man, these people are so selfish.
Right? Yeah, I don't get
Destroy my enemies. Save me. Don't let me die. Like,
kill them hard.
Right. It's just,
throw their bodies against the rocks.
It's the same ask every time.
Yeah. And it's very demanding. It's not even like an ask. Sometimes they're like, I'm not even pretending to ask.
Right.
I demand that you do this for me. All right. Psalm 143 is an earnest prayer or appeal for deliverance and guidance. It starts, Lord, hear my prayer. Listen to my cry for mercy. This is one of the 7 penitential psalms. So it's one of the ones where they're like, sorry.
Is it? Was it?
That's what it's classified as, but that's not the mood I got.
Right.
It
seemed like every other psalm to me, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
But whatever.
It's believed to have been written during the period of the rebellion of David's son Absalom. But, I mean, honestly, it could have been
how
written.
I am curious how they find, like, where they're getting the idea of how when these things were written, you know?
When I say it's believed to have been written during that time, what I mean to say is that people who believe this stuff and people who believe
that
David...
they've attributed it to that time for some vague reason that they've determined that this is why.
This seems to line up, like this one word here lines up with this time period. So
most likely it's not based on any type of fact or anything. It's just based on conjecture on what they think.
Yeah, that wasn't historians believe it was written during that time. Historians probably don't even believe that David wrote that shit.
Right.
So, no, this is just like Bible scholars, and by Bible scholars, I mean hardcore...
Bible apologists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Christian Bible enthusiasts.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was our last psalm for today. Do you have anything else for us right now?
I do, actually. I want to apologize for the couple of times that I said trouble and I didn't say right here in River City.
I almost asked in the moment, then I was like, nah, I'm just going to let that slide.
No, it happened twice, and both times I was like, in my brain, I was like, right here in River City.
But it didn't come out.
But you get annoyed, so I held it back, and I was like, I'm gonna bring it back around.
Okay.
And it was almost as good.
Yeah. I appreciate that you waited to the end to do that.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
All right. So that's all we got for today.
Yep.
And tomorrow we will be back with...
We're only going to do 2. We're going to read Psalms 144 and 145.
Okay. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. there's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.